Gage's Rage. Let's get this thing started.
We want to rip off right away with some Fantasy 101, and I got you covered. What we're going to talk about is the fantasy football season foresight, as Brandon alluded to foreskin. You want to be looking ahead at...
I don't know if I said that on air, but...
oh, shit. You want to be looking ahead at bye weeks. Bye weeks are huge. If you get two guys in the first 3 or 4 rounds and they have the same bye week, that week is going to suck. So if you can prevent it, if you're choosing between two guys, maybe that could be a deciding factor into choosing one over the other. Also, it's really tough to draft a team looking ahead at the fantasy football playoffs. But if you can look ahead and look at teams that have really good matchups in that week 14, 15, 16, 17 this year, it's just a good way to look ahead and prepare for the season in a way that other fantasy owners probably won't. Another thing I really like to do is look at how I project the season to go and pick guys that are on good teams. So you want players that are on teams that are going to be scoring lots of points, or you want really good pass catchers on horrible teams that are going to be down all season. It gives you an opportunity to get really easy PPR points, gives you lots of good easy stat buffers that give you a lot of PPR points for fantasy football, which is important.
Part of the game is obviously you're looking ahead and you're thinking of last season. So you're looking at Jacksonville. Well, they were terrible against the run. So they're probably going to start out the season at least bad against the run. You know, they're going to look at like 32, 31 ranked overall. During the season, that can obviously change. Big injuries can happen. Teams can fall off. Some bad teams can get better, and those things will change. But generally, looking at that is definitely a good thing to keep aware, because that's when you're going to be playing to win your championship.
Oh, yeah. Another team, specifically, I think it was the Browns, were terrible against tight ends. Fantasy tight ends facing the Browns always would score in the top 5 for tight ends any given week. Even if the team playing them didn't have a very strong tight end, it was just a mismatch between that team and their chemistry. So looking for things like that and planning ahead can help you quite a bit in the fantasy football season.
Another position that this is huge for, which is something that I like to stream weekly, is defenses. You do not need to hang on to a defense. You can just look purely at matchups, find the worst teams on offense, and play whoever is on defense. If you got a struggling quarterback, you're going to get some points off turnovers. You're going to get some sacks with the bad offensive line. Let's pay attention to what offenses are bad and match them up with defenses.
Absolutely.
There's a few that you might hold on to for a good portion of the year.
Yeah, I mean, the Steelers last year, the Patriots always have a decent one.
The Rams with Darnold.
But you're going to end up with a bad matchup with them. You know, if you're playing the Chiefs, are you going to keep that defense in regardless of who it is? Probably not. So you can still pocket them, but you got to be looking at matchups and not, oh, they're my defense, so I have to play them. You could end up negative. You could end up losing a playoff game because your defense goes negative and letting Star Lamar win the championship.
What?
Who did that?
Not our league.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't won our league. I don't know if he's coming better than 11th in our league yet.
I got second place one year.
Oh, okay.
So I think
outside of that year,
we'll and I made the playoffs. Shut the fuck
While we're
up.
still on this, I think the bye-pocalypse is going to be week 7. Minnesota obviously was on that week 7 bye, but it looks like we have Pittsburgh, Buffalo, Dallas, Jacksonville, and the LA Chargers. So a lot of really explosive offenses, a lot of really good quarterbacks, really good receivers, running backs. I mean, there's a lot of players in fantasy football that have bye week 7. So good luck that week.
Yeah. Look ahead.
Yes.
Fantasy 101, season 4.